What's up, guys? Sam the Rave Man coming back at you today with another video. Special video today. We are joined here by my friend HWZ. HWZ, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. Neighboring at that, right? We're both in the same state.
That's true. Both Georgia guys. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely glad to be here, man. Honored to be on the channel, and what are we talking about today, man?
Well, I figured you came to me. We talked about Clan Boss. I'm one of the Clan Boss guys. So I figured we'll do the same thing. We'll talk about Arena because you're a big Arena guy. I know you're a big Plat pusher, big Live Arena fan. I've seen you already make some videos and some collabs with Live Arena. So I just want to pick your brain about the Arena since that's your specialty.
Nice, man. I can definitely help you with that. So yeah, I'm all game. Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome, man. So, right now we got these three different types of arenas. First of all, what's your real quick, not a long version, but what's your quick version? What's your thoughts on Live Arena right now?
I really like Live Arena. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's like that same rush I get from Plat, just more often.
Nice, man. Honestly, I like how often it is. I was worried that, oh, I'm only going to be able to fight like twice a day. And what if the battles are taking 30 minutes? I don't know about you, but none of my battles are taking 30 minutes. And I'm getting in 15, 20 fights a day. What about you?
Yeah, I'm getting in a solid amount of fights. I haven't had a 30-minute fight yet. I might have had one that was around 15 minutes or
Hmm.
so, but nothing crazy. I've seen a few people go for 30 minutes, and it's not that serious for me. If it just seems like a stall out or I can't win, I'm not gonna sit there all day. I'm gonna hop into the next fight.
Okay. Okay. And then, opinion wise, Classic Arena, Live Arena, Tag Arena, which one's your favorite?
Definitely Live Arena.
Okay. I think I agree with you just because, like you said, it adds a level of excitement. Like I go into live, Classic Arena and get a refresh. I'm in low gold 5 because I put a one-man defense in, right? And so I can just
Mhm.
beat every team on this page with my speed team. Maybe with one or two exceptions here and there, but there's not a ton of excitement, like you said, in beating any of these teams. Now, I will say for me recently, I'm not saying I like it more, but the level of difficulty has jumped up significantly for Tag Arena because I finally pushed to Gold 1. I know you and I were messaging about this last time in Tag Arena, and dude, it was sweaty. It was tough, man. There were some insane teams. I saw all +4 teams and just um double Siffy, double Rotos, double Duchess, Necret Georgid. I mean, just like some insane teams that I feel like I had no way to counter. So I finally pushed a gold 1, and it's not as bad in here, weirdly enough. Like I think the top of silver 4 is probably better than the bottom of gold 1 for whatever reason. Um,
Everyone in Silver 4 is hungry, man. They're
oh
trying to
yeah, dude, they got
they're
that.
trying to get that mission done.
That's exactly what it was, and I finally beat that mission, so I'm finally able to progress on my Ramontu missions. I got 50 to go. Um,
Nice.
but that was, I think, probably the biggest blocker until we get up to higher. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's go ahead and get down to the topic. So we're not going to particularly talk about live arena or tag team arena. Really just want to talk about the arena in general. So essentially, I have two questions for you. Um, let's say hypothetically, like tag team, right? So or three teams total. What are the most common teams, right? Like, or types of teams. So we have like go first teams, go second teams, and that's really it. But what are the most common teams you're seeing? I guess what is the meta right now?
Well, you're gonna see a lot of people with multiple go second teams, especially in the higher tiers. You're gonna have a lot more, you know, actual defenses in, whereas, in the earlier tiers, you're gonna be getting people. Everyone's trying to go first. Everybody's putting in multiple speed teams, and that's just where people get off wrong. It's like you need to be building the actual defense. So obviously, in the higher tiers, you're gonna see a ton of just really tanky defenses, stall defenses. Everyone has a win condition, of course, and they're all built like relatively well. And go for imagine, you're going up against almost three plat defenses essentially.
Hmm.
So I would say going second is 100% almost the best way to go on offense as well, just because like you want to avoid reaction. You want to avoid, waiting 2 turns for stone skin. If you can allow your opponent to drop a turn off for you, like, yeah, you don't want to gamble with stripping it unless they don't have sheep, So I think going second is the thing that helped me to progress the most, just because, when you don't have a ton of speed on your account, then, you got to get a bit creative. So I would say having even 3 go second teams is not a bad idea, as long as if you're confident in the speed of like your turn meter boosters or what have you, it is okay to have one team that goes first. Like, I would say that would generally be most people's, like, classic arena farming team,
Hmm.
right? And, you pick a option for it to go up against that's, like, clearly a go second team, right? So you would use that team to farm whatever team really looks like a go second team. You always pretty much pair it up against that team. And then the other two would generally be like go second teams. So
Okay. So I haven't made a ton of arena content on my channel. I mostly specialize in the clan boss. So not to put you in the spot, but just if you had to shout out a few of the best go second arena champions, right? So if someone's trying to build an arena team that wants to go second, stay alive, but still live long enough to get a turn, who are some of the shout outs that you would have?
as far as the best, you could definitely, you mean for offense or defense? Well, obviously offense, those are going.
Yeah.
So I guess as far as going second, I would say Rotos is always a good option to go second. Candraphone, good option to go second. Heffrac, good option to go second. Um,
So you thinking Heffrax
even
Stone Skin?
it would have to be Stone Skin. Yeah,
That's the only
Heffrac
way he
not in Stone
survives.
Skin is a yeah. When he's not in Stone Skin, it's clearly a joke because you could just sleep him and his
Hmm.
passive doesn't work. So,
Yeah, that's a good
um,
point.
Mortu Macabre is someone I don't advise to use on offense, but I think
Hmm.
he's a decent go second option in Stone Skin as well. And that's just, nukers. As far as like go second supports, obviously you have your Duchess.
Yep.
You could bring in Mithrala as a cleanser, which is great for go second because if you have one built pretty well, then chances are she won't be debuffed. If you have her in immunity, that's even better. You got champions. Well, obviously, I forgot to mention, Harima's great for go second. Staltus
Hmm.
can also be good. Lydia is a solid pick for go second as far as support. But if you go first, it's even better because then you can just kill their nuker and they can't revive them. Let me think. Necrid, of course.
Yeah.
There's so many champions because I've had a lot of time to develop tag team arena teams over the last maybe 6 to 8 months or so since I really started pushing for gold four. Mountain King, there's so
Hmm.
many. Even like I ran a team that was a go second team, but I used a stun set Hegemon.
Okay.
I knew everybody else in the team was going to be slow. So I actually in that team I run a bolster set Brogni, a Cardiel, a Rotos was in that team, and I had CC Hedgie. And the CC Hedgie, I always paired this team against the opponents like clear fastest team, right? And just
Okay.
try to get some stuns off, try to lock them out as well. And then everybody else is there just, going second, right? Like we're just waiting on them to see what they're gonna do. If they have an AoE nuker, it's even better because maybe Rotos gets a counterattack off due to his passive, and
Hmm.
then hopefully procs an extra turn. And now we've turned the whole fight around. So I think, there's tons of options, man. There's so many champions. We got 772 champions in the game. I would
Hmm.
say at least a third of those could potentially be used decently as far as like go second options goes.
No, I agree, dude. And I think that's good advice. Interestingly enough, I do have two Hegemons. So fun team could be
Nice.
built there, whether that's double nuke or double lockout. Um,
hmm
Never really built the second one too much, but I've got them.
I
Well,
I actually so you're in goal one. Sorry, really
mhm.
quickly. You're in goal one. 2 nuke hedgies could still be decently viable for you on offense.
Okay. Okay.
Like, if you pair it against like, go to your tag team arena, like, okay, you see this second team, this
Mhm.
guy, Immortal Spade. His first team is Arbiter, Mashal, Venus Seer.
Mhm.
Do you think any of those champions are in Stone Skin?
No, probably not. Maybe the Venus, probably not.
The Venus could be in Bolster, but even
Yeah.
that would be like a stretch. I would 100% feel confident bringing 2 Nuke Hedgies against that team.
No, I agree. I agree.
So I think there are places where, these things, can apply in that way, Now you have a bunch of other champions that you can, bring in to deal with the other 2 compositions that your opponent will have. So that could be a strategy that you go with. Similarly for like that guy AYAO707, that last team,
Mhm.
obviously the Mithrala is gonna be a bit tanky, but if you kill the Trunda and the Arbiter with 2 new Kegis, then you just, slowly win and beat the Lysandra and the Mithrala. Not to say the Lysandra is gonna live either, but
Yeah. Well,
if e go ahead, sorry.
no, so you're right, and I mean, double hedgy, that's just part of the team. I can bring in somebody else, whether that's a reviver, whether that's CC, whether that's another damage dealer to clean up. Um,
Yeah, or reset. Just reset them and
that's
go
true.
again
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
clean it up.
Kymar, I got multiple Kymars, also pretty lucky there. And I got Yumiko. So,
Mhm.
and that kind of goes into what I was going to say about all your different opinions on who can go second or best go second champions. I think I had every champion you listed, um, barring Harima. Harima, I do not have, but I have Nekret. I have you said Candrafon, you said Rotos, Mortu, Hefrak. I have all of those. You said Duchess, I have Duchess.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't remember who else you said, but that kind of leads me into my second question. So let's just talk tag team in general, right? So 3 teams that I'm going to build. What would your suggestions be? I know I sent you a picture of some of the teams that I run and some of the champions on my account. Let's kind of just talk through
Mhm.
that so we can see your logic and what your thought process is here.
Yeah, definitely. So, you have a pretty stacked roster, right? So I don't think you'll have any issues as far as champion selection goes. I think it's 100% gonna come down to the gear and the synergy that, you can kinda get together with the gear. So 100% whatever your speed farm team is should be an option for you,
Okay.
and that team will usually go against you know their clear go second team, right? So if we just look at this whole page, we can identify what the clear go second team is, and that
Mm-hmm.
first one, his first comp is clearly going second, right?
Yep.
And he doesn't want you to turn meter boost. That's why he has a torment in there. And the second team, both of those last 2 teams could potentially go second, and the fact that he has a Torment in there is just telling me that the Warlord and the Kymar are not that fast, but it's still a gamble. A lot of people are building them faster now. That second
Mm-hmm.
team is 100% a go second team, though.
Yeah, that was to me the most obvious of any on this
Very
page.
obvious. Yeah, so, like, you could look at any one of these and say, "Okay, which one is clearly going second," right? And use, your classic arena farm team to try to just take that down. As far as the other 2 options goes, right, you know, you also have a Siphi as well with your Arbiter, so you could potentially build 2 go first teams, and most people are going to have 2 go second teams, so I would say at this time, you could definitely run 2 teams going first,
Okay.
um, because, it's goal 1, man, and you've got the champions for sure. You've got the champions for sure. Now, goal 2 is gonna be a bit different, but in goal 1, like, just looking at this page here, I don't feel like you couldn't just honestly clear this page, with your champions. I would honestly believe that you could just clear this.
Okay.
So it's 100% gonna come down to gear. As far as the last team goes, you said you were running something with Venus. Cupidus, Necrit, and Duchess, right?
Hmm. Yes,
I
I
would
was.
suggest you were, right? You also have a Marishka, right?
I do.
And so Marishka has an ally attack on the A1. She has an ally attack on her A1 where someone's gonna join in with her and you know, ally attack. Now it is random,
Hmm.
which is the only thing, right? It's random, but if you're using, say you use Necrit in that comp with Marishka, now you have double ally attack. So you
That's a
have
good point.
Necrit, Marishka, Duchess, and then I don't know, even someone like a Rhonda who is also gonna try to team up because of her passive. Now you potentially have like triple ally attack in your comp. And Rhonda's A1 can do so much. Now I don't know if you have your Rhonda built at all, but that's just another solid option. Now you also do have an Inithwi who could potentially come into a comp like this. Now, granted, people give him trash because of his multipliers or what have you. They say he's not the strongest, but if you bring someone like him in with like Necrit, Marishka, right, and like these ally attacks start popping off, revive on death, right? So you get one solid go at the nuker on their team or like the actual threat, and now it's just waiting to kill everybody else. So I think that that could be a solid option as well there.
Okay. I like that, man. I've actually Anithway is on my watch list right now because I want to consider building him. I've ran into some pretty annoying live arena matches. You pick 5 champions, so they would pick 2 nukers, 3 revivers, right? And one of the nukers would be somebody I really didn't want to fight, whether that's a Georgid or a +4 Rodos. I saw that yesterday. That was fun. Or a Harima, man. Harima for me is almost an instant ban. So I'll ban one of
Hmm.
them, but then I'm facing one nuker who I can handle, but then I'm facing 3 revivers. And if I'm not, ramping up with Rodos or one-shotting them all with Baron, then that is just a super annoying, super long fight. So I like the idea of a Neathwy with the flexibility to use him in live arena and just block some of those revives. So I think that's a good shout. I might try that.
Yeah, yeah. Block revive is really strong. That's why a lot of people have been using Lydia as
Hmm.
well. Just because of her passive. You get somebody down. Obviously, a lot of people are gonna have, multiple revivers. It's the smartest way to go is to have like versatile support champions that can do like two or three things. Like,
Hmm.
Mighty Yuko can come in and CC. He can also still buffs. He can also revive, right? Like so, these champions that are doing like more than one thing for you. Sify can sleep on the A1. She can revive. She can buff you. She can heal you. Duchess is gonna veil. She's gonna revive. She's gonna do damage mitigation. So just having support champions that are gonna do like multiple things for you is gonna be the strongest way to go. I've seen a ton of comps that have multiple revivers. Otherwise, like you're gonna lose the fight really quickly once someone dies. Just because after you use that first revive and you're waiting on cooldown, you gotta try to survive. And trying to
Hmm.
survive for like 3, 4 turns while a revive is on cooldown and trying to get yourself back into the fight is very tough.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It is that block revives on a long cooldown. I think you pretty much got to finish it before they get their revive back.
Hmm.
Because I think mine's booked. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
seven
it's
turn.
yeah booked. It's really long. It's really long, but solid option for people who don't have block revive champions. And another good thing about her kit is if she does have enough accuracy, you can so say they have multiple revivers, you block the revive on one with her passive, and you just like use her A2 to lock out the other one.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I was just looking at that. So you can essentially block 2 revives if you just block their
Exactly.
skill. That's a good point. My Lydia's, I
So,
really just use her at this point to set up Seer. I don't use her too much,
mhm.
and When I first got her, I used her in the arena on my Go First team, but now it's been a long time since she's seen the arena. So maybe this will be her comeback story. I
So
like
remember,
that.
remember I was telling you about the Hedgie team
Hmm.
that I was using, right? So before I had it with, Cardiel in there, I actually was using Lydia in lead.
Okay.
And that was just because, like, say we don't kill everybody, right? They're gonna try to revive somebody. And Lydia, like, because that team doesn't have a traditional reviver, right? So I brought Cardio in. Obviously, he has revive on death, but like, because that team doesn't have a traditional reviver, say we don't, the nuke Hedgie doesn't work out for us at the start, right? Or CC Hedgie doesn't fully, lock someone out and they do get a chance to go. I'm 100% counting on my Rotos to live in that comp after their nuker nukes. And after I kill someone, Lydia just blocking that revive made a huge difference for that comp because once Rotos comes back around, now I can kill the reviver. So
Okay.
it it Lydia is definitely a strong arena champion when you have a comp that has synergy, for her. But I would say, it's a bit of a different build. You're definitely gonna want to give her some more, resist for arena
Hmm.
as well. I want to say you have to prioritize accuracy much. Obviously, you want enough to like land the A2, but like against like most arbiter teams, because that would be the team that, the hedgy team is going up against generally, an
Hmm.
arbiter team, right? You don't really want to gamble with a Siffy team with it too much.
Yeah, got to be
But
careful.
yeah, because the Siffy is going to be significantly more tanky than the arbiter generally.
Hmm.
Most people are building them a bit more tanky. But usually your traditional like go first arbiter team is not gonna be that tanky. And so, it can work out very well there.
Okay, that's good. So getting back to the two teams we or three teams we talked about. So my first one, just my classic arena speed team, right? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Second one will be a Siffy go first team, is what you were thinking. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what other champions you trying to pair with Siffy? Because I got Rotos put up on screen, who's obviously great, but I see him in a lot more in go second teams than I see him in go first team. So what are you thinking, just off the cuff idea? Siffy go first team. Who else is in that team?
I would say as far as like nukers or other champions.
Just yeah, the other three champions.
So the other, I would say 100% Rotos is probably the best nuker you could pair with Siffy, unless you have a really strong defense-based nuker because she does place increased defense. And Rotos, he deals damage based on attack. So if you don't have increased attack, then like, it's 100%, you're not getting the most from having him in the comp unless your
Mm-hmm.
Rotos is just, completely cracked out. So Stultus obviously has very nice multipliers. He also self buffs though, so
Yeah.
he doesn't necessarily need to be in a comp with Siffy. I used Stultus for quite a bit in Tag Team Arena actually.
Okay.
And he did pretty good there. I think someone like obviously Harima is great there. As far as defense based nukers though, Soulless is I haven't seen him used a whole lot lately, but he would be a great option. Iron Brago is actually probably a strong option as well. As far as nukers, now as far as the other supports, if I'm intending to go first, then I'm probably gonna want to bring in someone like a Kaimar, have him in lead, of course, um, and make sure we can reset, potentially buff strip if we need to, but we're counting on this team going first, so he would more so be in there to reset. If you build Kaimar with resist, then he can also, this team can also be used to counter, Warlord Yumiko teams. And that last champion, I would say, depending on the nuker that you do decide to bring in. So if it is Rotos, and depending on how fast the Siffy is, if you can rely on the speed, potentially bring in someone else to just support either Rotos or support the whole team. And when I say support Rotos, I mean like maybe place increase attack or
Okay.
something like that, or bring them in and bolster to have, a shield up that way. Say you get cut in on or something like that and the fight starts to turn around, everyone doesn't just get wiped completely, right? So that's kind of how I would compose that. Currently, what I'm using in live arena when I do have like Rotos and Scythian is like bolster champions. I just
Okay.
use Cardiel. Cardiel's in bolster now. I have Pytheon in bolster. And I'm gonna as many champions as I can get in bolster. I'm gonna probably be putting in bolster just because I feel like if you bring in a team without bolsters, to live arena, if you're not going first, if you're not controlling the other team, chances are you're gonna die once they get a turn just because, you don't have any shields on. It's kind of free reign at that point for them to just start picking you apart. So I would say either someone you can come in and bring in and bolster, or someone to how would you bring obviously you got Yumiko, so you can, reset there and put their skills on cooldown. So that's probably gonna be the best option, I would
Mhm.
say. If you can rely on that team for the speed, Yumiko's probably gonna be the better option.
Okay. Yeah. Because it'd be a shame with how good she is to not use her, you know? So I want to slot her in a team if I can.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And her passive is crazy good, like, for arena. As far as the Veil, she's starting with a Veil, so it's not like you could just kill her
Hmm.
immediately unless you know yeah, you can't. You
Yeah.
need, like, AoE. You need, like, a Hedgie or something like that to
Hmm.
come in and yeah, 'cause otherwise, she's generally gonna be, like, one of the faster champions in a go first team. So, in Plat Arena, people are building Yumiko and Warlord as their fastest champion now. You have, like, 420 speed Warlord Yumiko, 450 speed, like, so
That's
it's getting
crazy.
crazy. You gotta use her, man. She's just
Okay.
so good.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. All right, man. Well, I appreciate this. This is good. I was hoping to, yeah, just pick your brain about, especially tag team arena, because that's where I'm pushing the most. But then I'm hoping, with building these three teams out, I've got multiple champions built that I can also use in live arena. That's kind of my
Mhm.
goal. And so I like that. I like the idea, like I said, of using that in Nithwi. Maybe I built out Rhonda as well, just because I've seen a lot of use cases with her with that block passive skills. I've seen her shutting
Mhm.
down a Terrace or a Marichka or Ultimate Death Knight, who's super annoying. Like, say you're running Rhonda alongside Rotos,
Or e
then that,
or even shutting down a Mithrala.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point too. There's lots of champions with annoying passives. And since I don't have Ramontu, and apparently he is just falling out of the meta before I can even get him, which is great. Then yeah, Rhonda's my only block passive skills. So I like that idea too.
And she doesn't need accuracy for it. Can't be resisted.
Yeah, that is cool, man. What an underrated champion. I know she's kind of getting her time in the sun right now, but I just remember everyone when she came into the game was like, "Oh, this is just another like average thing. She's not very good. There's not a lot of use
Nah,
cases." And man, she's pretty special.
she is, man. What? She's got everything you want, right, in a nuker. She has the ability to do single target. She has the ability to do AoE. She can potentially ally attack, team up. Every time someone on your team takes a turn and they're targeting someone, she has a chance to go in and hit as well. And if they're below, what is it, 40% HP, 50% HP, she's going to lay 4 hits on them,
Yeah.
which is absolutely crazy. So the A2 is just a huge bonus with not being able to resist block passive
Mm-hmm.
and block active skills. So like if they're even alive after she uses this, because this it ignores shield and 30% of the target's defense. So it hits like a truck, right? Especially if
Yeah.
you have Helm Smasher on her, you've got Savage on her. it's just gonna delete them, right? It's honestly just gonna delete them. But if they are alive, it places block active skills on them after. So it's dude, she's so underrated, man. And a lot
Yeah.
of people, Plarium, they kind of marketed her as a Fire Knight champion.
Mhm.
When she first came out, they really were like, you can use her in Fire Knight. Everyone was focused on how many hits her A1 can do and what that
Mhm.
does for you, and yada yada yada. And over time, I think we're all starting to see the potential of this champion.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like we talked about at the beginning, I'm very clan boss oriented. So I'm like, oh, dude, 4 hits, 4 hits. That's
Yep, yep,
giant slave
yep.
for days. So let's put her in an unkillable team, see how much damage she can do. And it was good, but it was not anything crazy. Like she's not like she didn't have much value over replacement over anybody else. But I think she
Mhm.
is, like you said, I mean, she's good Fire Knight. I'm not trying to downplay that, but I think she's an arena specialist. I think that is definitely her spot in the game. That's where she's going to
Yep.
see the most usage, especially on end game accounts. Because like I don't need her in Fire Knight. I don't need her
Yeah.
at all. Like that, she's not gonna help me there even slightly. But Arena, she's got a lot of use cases that what she brings to the table, nobody else is bringing.
Yep.
That's cool. All right, man. Well, wrapping up towards the end of this video, I just have one question for you, real simple. Hypothetically, just for the sake of Arena, if you could add one champion to your account, who would it be?
Only one?
Yeah, just one, and you can only yeah. Just talking Arena.
That's so rough. I would add
And I guess you can say a few. I wrote down three that I was going to choose one between, but I guess if you want to give me a few, I'll read all three of them.
I'm gonna go with a Marishka.
Okay. Do you have the
If I
Terrace
had
to pair her with, or just you just want Marishka?
I just want the Marishka for the A1, honestly, and the passive is a super strong ability. If I couldn't, if I wouldn't take her, I would 100%, take a Taurus or a Necrit. Aside from that, though, man, I honestly just want dupes of some of the champs that I have at this point for empowerment. Like, I really need empowerment. Like, I just, bit the bullet and empowered my Rotos. I said I was gonna wait until I pulled another one to still have the Faction Guardian, but I honestly don't care about the Faction Guardian at this point. Because it's like, if I can get the bonuses that I need for one champion for empowering them, right? I can get, some HP, some attack, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, then I'm gonna do that just because, I'm not using my Elegias, right?
hmm
I'm not I'm not using, my Crypt King has since been retired. I may use him for hard ice golem, but I pulled a tyrant recently who is, decent there as well. But my
hmm
Crypt King's not getting used anymore because I don't need him for Spider. So it's like, yeah, I was one dupe away from having Max Faction Guardian for Undead, and Live Arena made me empower my Rotos.
Wow. See, I'm in the exact same spot, dude. So I have one Rotos who's cracked. He's got a 6-star blessing on him, which is huge. He's my first 6-star legendary blessing.
Amazing.
And then I got another Rotos, and he's just not built near as well. And he does have a 2-star blessing, which is better than nothing. But
Mhm.
I do have my Undead Horde Faction Guardians filled up. But if I were to empower my Rotos, I would lose at 10 speed, which doesn't hurt him as
Mhm.
much, but it does hurt that Siffy and hurts Necrid a
Mhm.
little bit. So I don't know if I'll do that just yet.
You
But
got 2 Necrods?
yeah, I got 2 Necrits. I remember when I first pulled him, I was like, I know this guy's amazing, but I was like, I'm in like Silver 2 Tag Arena. I'm barely in like Gold 4 Arena. So I was like, I didn't use him for so long just because
Dude,
I
you
didn't
need to
under.
build that.
Do you think so?
Yes. What's the
Okay.
what's what's the first build you have on the what's on the other Necrit
First
right
one's in a
now?
bolster set. I know that.
Okay. Good job. You're
So yeah,
off to a great start already.
bolster speed. Yeah, that second one I think
Perfect.
is either Master Vault or Reserve Vault, and I've never built them.
Oh my god, you kidding me?
Yeah, I know, man. I've been pretty lucky as far as shards go. I think I pulled both of them within a month. Probably less than 200 shards, and I pulled both of them. It was just like a crazy month. I've had some bad luck streaks as well, and I've spent too much money on this game, but that was definitely a highlight.
Wow. Yeah, dude.
Like if
If like you shouldn't have any issues in tag team arena. I would say if you do, just farm gear. Farm Doom Tower and Fire Knight.
yeah, yeah.
You're good to go. Obviously, Forge Pass, I would say Bolster set is the strongest set. Defiant is a close second. Instinct, I'm not that sold on.
Okay. So, do you think that second Necret slots into the Siffy team, or do you think they slot into that third Go Last team? Or you said Necret's
Oh
already in that
man.
third team, so
He's already in that third team. So yeah, you could slot him in, take out one of those rotos, and do
okay,
Sify, Necrit, Rotos, Yumiko.
okay. Or do you think Kaimar instead of Yumiko?
Oh, that's a rough one. So if I go first, I would think Kaimar for sure for the aura. And then on defense, I would probably put Yumiko in there if I had to throw it in on defense. But I would probably do a different composition for the defense. And we actually didn't discuss defense today, but maybe we can do that in another video for you.
Yeah,
And just kind of go
absolutely.
over defense. But
Okay.
yeah, now you got me thinking, man, because we didn't even talk about defense.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's
But
just it's easy to just talk and get distracted.
but yeah, I would say, ooh, depending on your Siffy speed, if you're going up against a clear go second team, then Yumiko is going to be the better option. But if the team potentially has some champions that could cut in on you, or you feel like could cut in, then go Kaimar. Like if it's like you're going up against a go second Valk team and you need to strip,
hmm
then like you're gonna want to go Kaimar there. But the Necrit would, 100% help the viability of your team, especially if like he's in bolster as well. If you're in two bolster and Necrits, like that's really strong for any account.
Okay. Yeah, I have a decent amount of bolster gear, and I haven't put it on a ton of champions. Or I mess around, but it's not like I have a ton sitting on champions. So I got a lot that I can move to that second Necrit, I think.
Hmm.
Okay. All right, man. Well, that's good advice. I've been taking notes over here in my little notepad, so I got all this, and I'm gonna work on that today. Um.
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, you said Necret, um, Terrace, Marichka, either of them for you, and then maybe just other dupes. Harima pretty high up on your list for dupes that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harima's probably my number one, at least non-void champion I'd want for the arena, right? We're not talking other places, but for the arena, dude, I would love a Harima, man. She scares me. Every time I see her, I get all nervous. Um, I remember going in and like basically with my go first team, right? So I do Arbiter, uh, Kaimar Strip, and then I nuke with a Baron. And after I nuke, Harima was on there, and they're all just standing up still. Baron didn't kill one of them because it was like Duchess, Harima. I don't remember who else it was, but it wasn't like super tanky champions besides Duchess and Harima's passive, dude. Just wrecked my Baron. It's just
Yep.
he was relying on that because there's no decreased defense, there's no weaken. Yeah, and so that was my first lesson. I was like, whoa, this champion is for real. And I've seen some of your videos, and I've seen some other content creators, man. And she's even if she wasn't a nuker, her like stuff that she brings to the team is insane. Or even if she was just a nuker, didn't have the insane passive, she's still great. The fact that she's got
Yep.
both of those, man, is pretty broken. So yeah, that's my
Hmm.
number one most wanted champion. And then I would love Terrace. I think he's good. I think he's especially good with Marichka, obviously, and so that's the main reason I want him because I'm not lacking any nukers, right? So I think if I didn't have Marichka, Terrace wouldn't offer as much to me, but because I do, I think he's pretty special. And then
Well, oh, not to cut you off,
no,
but
you're good.
he's like a legendary version of Seer, right? Like
Yes, where he does
This
all the
is
damage. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, based off the buffs that he has. No, I'm not saying I'm not trying to downplay how great he is. He's obviously like the best of the best, but I just think like his value is way higher when he's with Marichka and he's got that kind of
Oh,
broken pairing. That's what I'm trying to say.
agreed,
No,
agreed,
he's
agreed,
amazing.
yeah.
He's amazing. I'm not trying to downplay that. Yeah, he would be my
Nah,
number
I know.
2. And then lastly would probably be Georgid. Um
Yeah,
yes, I've got a Baron. I just think Georgid's better, and especially with his chance to basically just hit through Stone Skin. I think is cool.
yeah, Georgia with Necrit is completely broken, man.
Yeah. I was doing, like I said, doing arena fights, live arena fights, and I think they banned my Rotos, so I had Hefrak left. He was my only nuker, and he's in Stone Skin, but Georgia does not care about Stone Skin. So boom, Hefrak's dead. I'm like, all right, well I guess I'm gonna leave this fight because I got 2 revivers and a support champion like Yumiko here, so I cannot win. So yeah, he's ruined my day as well. So I'd like to be able to ruin other people's days with my own Georgian. All right, man. Well, we've gone on long enough, but I appreciate this, dude. I'm always learning stuff when I'm talking to you, and it's been a pleasure having you on the channel. Hopefully, we'll continue doing more of these, going back and forth on our own channels. Any closing remark,
Yeah,
closing
definitely,
comments?
man. Just, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you reaching out. Always good talking with you, man. And yeah, good luck. Good luck to you in arena. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them my way. I'm always down to help out.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I will. I'm gonna build these teams, and I'm gonna start sending you updates, and I'll send you screenshots of wins and losses and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, everyone, go ahead and head over to HWZ's channel. I'm going to put that in the description below. Subscribe to him. He makes awesome content. Like I said, he's great in the arena, plat pusher, but he does make other content that's also really good too. So definitely go check him out and subscribe to his channel. HWZ, it was a pleasure having you on, man. So thank you.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Awesome. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.